Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. So this concept that Jesus was God was not taught by Jesus or his disciples, nor was it believed in by the followers of the decrees and the early followers of Christianity. As we see when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls in Qumran, we see that the early Christians were still a part of Judaism. For instance, if you read the book of Acts, when Jesus Christ had departed from this earth, the disciples still daily attended the synagogue. I don't get it. So, they still daily went to the temple of Jerusalem and worship as the Jews worship, because this is what Jesus Christ brought. He brought the renewal of the laws of Moses. So if the disciples were running around teaching people that Jesus was God, they would have been banished out of the temple the day that they walked in, or the day they would have started their own church. Jesus went to the temple himself. He did not build his own church anywhere and said, "Worship me." He went to the temple and worshiped God in the same way as Moses worshiped God, in the same way that Abraham worshiped God, the same way that David worshiped God, the same way that Zechariah worshiped God. He did the exact same thing, and his disciples followed him. And if you look at the first and second century Christians, they did the same thing. The people of Qumran, the first disciples who wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, they were also a part of Judaism. They considered themselves practicing Jews who followed Jesus as their prophet. So we see that nothing has changed. This whole concept of the Trinity did not come about until the 3rd century of the church, and it was not formulated as a doctrine that must be believed in until 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea, when all of the bishops and the scholars of Christianity, which started to form the Christianity after Paul came together and said, "This is a doctrine that we must believe in." And the first person to expound this doctrine was Paul, who never saw Jesus himself, never walked with him, never ate with him, and never learned from him. So I really don't get what Christians are saying. That believes that Jesus is God, of course. It was something that he formulated out of his vision that he said he had while he was on the road to Damascus to actually persecute Christians. So he was the first person to ever come up with this title of Christian, ever to come up with this title of Trinity. ever to come up with the Godship of Jesus Christ or only begotten Son. All these things came with Paul, the apostle. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.